Got it.
I'll be.
Thank you.
Just don't kind of be late. We only have half hour. No, no trouble.
Maybe if you want to use a few things back, that's it. Okay, you got it. Good morning, or good evening. Good evening. I guess we should. Been one of those days already. Good evening, everybody. Those of you who are online joining us virtually, we're going to start in just a minute or two, so hang in there. I don't know whether this is a political statement, but nobody wants to be, I guess it depends on your orientation as to whether you're on the right or the left, all right? It's more helpful if you move this way so that I can see. Don't worry, you don't have to move across the aisle. No, oh, see, now I guilted people. All right, okay. I mean, I might think, one way or the other, depending on which way I'm facing, as to the political leanings of this congregation. But since I know all of you pretty well, I know we are a mixed crowd, and that makes us strong. So I think we are ready. Yes, you're right in the middle. You can, for sure. All right. You can even move back and forth depending on the issue. All right. So I think that, good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. I want to start by acknowledging that the rhetoric of our country has become heated. I don't think I'm teaching any great new Torah when I say that. I think that it has become increasingly difficult for people to speak with civility, and for people to speak to others who are in disagreement. We don't know how to disagree without being disagreeable. And that as we have become more of a society that communicates this way, okay, rather than this way, we have lost our ability, okay? We have lost our ability to talk to each other, okay? And I think that that is a great travesty, and it will become even more of a challenge. For those of you who did not hear, this is a shameless plug, for those of you who did not hear my sermon on Friday night about the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the challenges that that presented for us as a Jewish community, one of the subtexts of that was that whether you agreed with him or didn't agree with him, Charlie Kirk often engaged in conversation. Conversation, some people would argue whether it was conversation or not, but dialogue, okay? And face-to-face dialogue, okay? You can hate the guy, but at least he is doing what we should be doing, which is when we disagree, we should be talking to each other, rather than being within the circles, the silos that we find ourselves. And so I thought, I didn't know what was going to happen this week. This topic was chosen a while ago because that's just one of the latest of examples of how speech has become such a problem in our society. And so I wanted to do a little bit about the power of speech. I don't think that there's going to be anything revelatory about tonight. I'm sorry, okay? But more of, as this holiday season is for us, a reminder of what it is that we should be doing. We know what we do, what we don't do. We know when we do something bad. Maybe we need a little bit of a reminder. In this case, I think we need just a bigger reminder about how to talk. So we're going to talk. All right? We're going to share ideas. I have some things to work on. Hopefully you have one of the text sheets, the blue text sheets. People who are online, I'm going to be doing my best to give you those texts. We're going to put them up on the screen. It's not going to be the best thing for people who are online to be able to see, but I may switch over to where they just see the texts. Those of you who are here live, you get the full experience. Okay, so we are gonna be studying a little bit of Jewish text. So I believe we should start with a blessing that says, "Thank you, God, for giving us the mitzvah of engaging in words of Torah, la'asok b'divrei Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah." Did you grab one of the blue sheets? There you go, blue sheets, right up at the top. Don't forget, otherwise you're stuck. So let's take a look at a text. This comes from Midrash Tehillim, probably about 1,200 years ago. And I'm going to just read the text, it's easier. Right? So a king contracted an unusual disease, and the physicians recommended an unusual remedy, namely the milk of a lioness. Okay? Why the milk of a lioness? Can't tell you that. To obtain this milk, a wise man placed 10 kids, not little children, little goats, 10 little goats near a lion's den. Standing somewhat apart, he threw a kid into the den, and he repeated this procedure until on the 10th day, the lioness having become friendly, he found it safe to draw some of her milk into a small vessel. The courageous man departed, and when night arrived, he camped under a tree. He dreamed that a quarrel arose between his limbs. The feet said, "We are the most important, for had we not walked, the man could not have secured the milk." The hand said, "No, it was we who drew the milk." The eye said, "Well, without us, you couldn't have found the way." And the heart said, "Had I not counseled him, the rest of you would have had nothing to do." And the tongue said, "Well, without my words, man is helpless." The others, however, exclaimed, "Be silent, you boneless, blind thing." The tongue, indignant, retorted, "I shall show you this day that I am your master." When the man finally entered the palace, the king asked him, "Have you brought it?" And here it comes. Okay? "Yes, your majesty," replied the man. "I have brought you the milk of a bitch." The king was greatly enraged and ordered the man be hanged. All the limbs began to tremble, and the tongue said, "If I save you, will you recognize me as your master?" "Yes," they answered in reply. The man then spoke up, "A slip of a tongue has created a misunderstanding. Take me back, I beg you, to the king." The truth was able to prove that he had brought back, in truth, the milk of a lioness. The king drank it, and it was cured. The man received a reward, and from then on he controlled his tongue. So, what is it that this text is telling us? Let's make sure we understand it. It's not too complicated of a story, but we've got this situation. The man goes, right? And what happens when he draws the milk? Okay, he's got the milk. You can shout out if you want. I'll just repeat. What's What's the issue with the limbs? Well, the limbs, each person is taking responsibility. Each person thinks, all right, that they're the only ones that can be rewarded for this particular figure. Did you make sure you took, one of the blue sheets? Good. Okay. But why did I bring you this text? Okay, well, because the tongue is most powerful, but what is it? What happens? Adele, go ahead. Okay, the power of the tongue to do something good or bad. But what happened? Why is it that this guy gets thrown in jail? Okay. Okay, so you are a half a step ahead of me, but you're in the right direction. Okay? You're good, Adele. Okay? The man comes, he brings the milk, and the king asks him, hey, did you bring it? All right? And the man says, yes. All right? I have brought you the milk of a bitch. There's the problem. Okay, the word, okay, and I intentionally translate it this way, okay, it's a provocative word. It's the correct word, all right, for a female, all right, who gave milk, okay? He's using it in that way, right, because he's just responding to the question. That is to say, he didn't intend on it. Now, Adele says he might be kind of giving him a little bit of, the king a little bit of a zets, but in this case, we could read it simply as he was asked a question, he responded, but the word, and how many of us have been in this situation where a word, hey, could be interpreted one way or another way. We can translate a word this way or that way. And depending on how we look at it, depending on how we translate it, makes all the difference. The king gets offended because he's been, somebody has used profanity in his presence. Right? He gets offended. He throws the man into jail. All right, and all of the limbs are freaking out. They're trembling, and the tongue says, "Wait a second. I think I figured it out. All right. If I save you, you should, will you recognize me as your master?" And the answer is yes. And he goes and he explains. He says, I take me to the king. I'm going to explain it to you, right? And the king realizes his mistake. Tongue wasn't trying to do anything provocative, right? But there was a misunderstanding. And so often, right, when we use our words, those misunderstandings cause us to get into trouble. Right? So this is just a warm-up text, okay, for us to start to think about what it is that we are doing. The word in Hebrew, right, for tongue is lashon. Right? In Hebrew or in English, those words connotate, right, different things. When we talk about a tongue, okay, it could connote a language as well as aspects of speech, right? In English, we have phrases like mother tongue, okay? It's not the thing that is in your mother's mouth, okay? It's what your mother spoke. It's the language that she spoke. Or forked tongue. Right? What does forked tongue mean? Right? You're speaking, with devious methods. Right? Or we're speaking in tongues. Okay? We're speaking in ways that we're not meant to understand. Similar, in Hebrew, we can say Lashon Kodesh or Lashon Tov, that we can speak about a holy language or good speech, Lashon Tov. Right? Lashon, right, the word in Hebrew, encapsulates the whole realm of verbal communication. Okay? From the organ that it was that creates it, i.e., the tongue, okay, to the context in which it is used, okay, language, or the pattern of sounds that it makes, speech. Okay? Tonight I want to explore some of the various connotations of Lashon with a view of how it impacts our lives, the power of speech. Right? Can we retain control over our tongue? And we're going to look at two ways of the way in which we use speech. One is lying, and one is rebuking. Right? And we're going to look at them in some unusual contexts as a way of highlighting, I'll say, the awesome power of Lashon to both harm and to heal. So, right, we know that the power of speech words can be creative, they can be destructive, they can be connecting, and they can be separating. Words can act as camouflage, or they can be a revelation. So when we talk about different types of speech, right, we can imagine, call it a moral ladder of speech. Okay? In the middle, we'll say, is morally neutral, necessary words. Okay? Basic things that get us from point A to point B, nothing argumentative, nothing good, nothing bad about them. Okay? Think about, right, when we actually gave people directions. Go left at 3 blocks down, make a right. Okay? Now we just GPS everything, and we don't talk to each other. We never roll down the window and say, could you tell me where to go? Okay? But morally neutral language would be something akin to directions that we're giving. Okay? As we move up that ladder, okay, we come to good words, then we maybe come to loving words, then maybe we come to holy language. Okay? And there's a midrash that says that by 10 utterances the world was created. Right? That 10 times in the book of Genesis we hear the word vayomer, and God spoke. Okay? Now, as we move down the ladder from neutral, okay, what do we have? Well, we come to trivial words. Then maybe we come to improper words. And on the bottom, we have evil words or thoroughly destructive words. Evil words, of course, fragment us. Right? You can't tell a lie wholeheartedly. A bit of you knows that it's false. Okay? And stands apart from the rest as you speak. Okay? When we tell a lie, okay, we know that we're doing it. I mean, unless we have mental health issues that put all of that aside. Right? And sometimes we know that those lies, okay, can be less harmful, what we call white lies, okay? And we have lies that are thoroughly destructive. But when you lie, You split yourself. Right? You recognize, right, that what you are doing is different from the language that you normally use. One of the blue sheets in the corner, and you can take a book if you want to reserve your spot. Okay? But the blue sheets. Do we have enough? Okay, we might need to share. All right, so let's talk about lies. All right? And one of the pieces of the topic, the title, was laudable lies. And is it okay for some to sometimes lie? All right? Now, let's take a look. All right, this comes out of Talmud Yerushalmi. Those of you who are online, I'm just going to show you the text so that you can look at it. Right? This comes from Talmud Yerushalmi, right? And it says, Rabbi Hanina says, "Come and see how difficult it is to avoid a touch of Lashon Hara. As the scriptures tell us, speech that pursues absolute truth disrupts peace between Abraham and Sarah. And Sarah laughed to herself, saying, 'Am I to have such satisfaction after I am worn out and my husband is so old?'" Okay, we're going to come to that. But God did not say to Abraham, "Why did she laugh?" saying, "Shall I indeed give birth when I am so old and worn out and my husband is so old? Is it not written so? But when I am old."
No, I'm not having children. Does anybody belong to a Mini Cooper? Your car's running.
Thank you. I was wondering, I love Don. Okay. For those of you who were online wondering, Don Goodman is really good to see you, and I'm always happy for a Don Goodman hug. I was wondering a little bit why Don was standing right in my face. Okay, all right, we're good. Okay, so we have this text. I'm going to put the text back up because you need to think about it. All right, so anyone know what the context of this story is? Okay. Oh, wait a second here. There we go. Let's get the text back up. All right, this is Genesis 18. Okay, Genesis 18 is at a point when Abraham and Sarah are childless. Okay? And Sarah is 90 and Abraham is 99. And they get told, right, by these three guests that they're going to have children. Now, Sarah is hiding in the back, all right? Abraham's getting the news from his guests, all right? And she's like, "What are you kidding? All right? Not a chance, okay? Am I really going to have children when I'm tired, I'm worn out, okay? And my husband is so old?" The smart Alex in the back, all right? You boys want to have children at this point? Okay, then pipe down. Sure. What happens? She laughs, and then God goes to Abraham and says what? The last bit of the line. "When I am so old," what's the difference? Nope. God goes to Abraham and says, "Hey, your wife laughed," okay, saying, "I can't believe that I'm going to have children when I'm so old," and puts a period. Doesn't say, "Your wife laughed, all right, I can't believe I'm going to have children when I'm so old, and my husband is so old." God leaves off, hey, cuts the sentence, does a little bit of a lie. Hey, why? Hey, because God is protecting Abraham, all right? And it would be embarrassing to Abraham that his wife thinks that he's not capable, right? Was it necessary even for God to say anything to Abraham about what Sarah said? What are the implications for this? Say it a little loud. Marriage counseling, yeah. Or marital peace. Why stoke a fire? Right? Why did God even need to say it in the first place? That's one question. But in this case, right, it says God protects Abraham, tells a little bit of a lie, right, doesn't give the whole truth as to what Sarah had said in order to preserve a little shalom bayit, a little peace in the house. Now, there's another piece in Talmud that says, hey, when you see a particularly ugly bride, okay, do you call her beautiful? Okay, so we have Hillel and we have Shammai, our great rabbinic scholars of the first century. Okay? What does Shammai say and what does Hillel say? Somebody take a guess. Go ahead, Barbara. I do know what you're talking about, all right? Do we lie to a bride, all right, and say that you are beautiful when you're not? Now, go ahead. Okay, Estelle, thank you. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yes, but, all right, do I go to a bride and say, oh, hey, Mazel Tov on your wedding, you are a really ugly bride? I can assure you I have never done that. Okay? Shammai says, under no circumstances are you allowed to lie. Okay? You're not allowed to lie. Hillel, of course, okay, being one who is a little more open, okay, says one is still obligated to call her beautiful, even if you don't feel that way, Estelle, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What? Yeah, why mess with a beautiful day? Of course. Okay? I bring it up. Okay, Joel, yeah. Say it again. Yes, because the mitzvah is to celebrate with bride and groom, okay? And all you're doing is messing that up. That's a higher mitzvah. Okay, go ahead, Jason.
Why can't you just keep your mouth shut?
That's okay. There you go. So the supra commentaries say you don't have to say anything, and of course that's the real thing, and that's what we're coming to. That's what we get. That's where we need to go, because sometimes saying nothing. Again, I told you, I don't think that there's anything revelatory about what I'm teaching. This is a reminder. Sometimes saying nothing, right, is better than saying anything. Truth, half-truth, just don't say anything. Okay? If you have nothing good to say, don't say anything. How many mothers, all right, how many of you had mothers who said that? All right, Rachel, go ahead. Why does there need to be a comment on what she looks like at all? That is an excellent question. Okay, you're supposed to be praiseworthy to bride and groom. It's a way of celebrating. Okay, and so that's where they are. That's the point at which they're struggling. Okay, I'm okay not saying anything. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Bob. Yeah, it's a beautiful wedding. Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's what I remember when I talk about the ladder. Okay, you can say something morally neutral. Okay, okay, which I spoke about this morning during services. The answer, is morally neutral. Yeah, go ahead, Adele, and then I'll come to you. Yes. 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 So that's why I bring this particular text, because if I'm just repeating for those who are online and those of you who may not have heard what Adele said, that if God can tell what we'll call a white lie, right, in order to create some goodness, right, some peace, right, some beauty, right, not ruin the day, okay, then that's an example for us. And indeed, that's where Hillel is coming from, right? Linda, were you? No? Okay, just checking to make sure. All right, so let's go to our next text, which is the text about rebuking. I said we would do two things. One is the lying and then rebuking. And actually, I think what we're going to do is we're going to look in between those. We're going to look at Maimonides. So, yes, there we go. All right, let me just put this up on screen. Okay, so this comes from Maimonides. Okay, this is his commentary on Masechet Avot from in the Mishnah Avot. So I say that according to the requirements of the Torah, speech should be classified into 5 categories: prescribed, cautioned against and prohibited, rejected, desired, and permitted. Right? Now, what he does is he's going to walk us through each of the 5 categories. Okay, so the first category is prescribed. Okay? That is, okay, this is an obligation. Right? It is a requirement. Okay? And what are the things that we're required to say? Okay? Well, okay, now I can look and be seen. So the first category is prescribed, namely studying the Torah, teaching it, and studying rabbinic teachings. This is an obligatory positive precept, as it is said, and speak of them. Where do we see that? Speak of them on your way, when you get up, when you lie down. Okay, this is part of Ve'ahavta, okay? That section that we recite multiple times during the day. Okay, so it's an obligation, prescribed speech, to do words of Torah. Right? Nothing surprising there. Right? That we should see it as an obligation to bring that into the world. We should teach. We should discuss. Right? We should debate even words of Torah. The second category, there we go. The second category is prohibited and cautioned against speech, such as bearing false witness, speaking falsehood, tale-bearing, and cursing. The teachings of the Torah offer guidance and regarding this category, similarly, obscene speech and slander, that would be Lashon Hara. This is all of the things that we should absolutely avoid. They are prohibited, right? Or even if we're questioning it, we're cautioned against that kind of speech, right? Good. The third category is rejected speech. Now, what's the difference between rejected speech and prohibited speech? Okay? Well, here we go. The third category is the rejected speech, which has no benefit in it for a person, for their soul, purporting neither to transgression nor to rebelliousness, such as most of the discussions of the multitude regarding what has happened and what are customs of a certain king in his palace, how was so-and-so's death caused, and how did a certain person become rich. The sage term these discussions idle talk. So now we're in, okay, if we've got the prescribed, okay, the prescribed stuff, we have to, and we've got at the bottom that which is prohibited, okay, and even at best cautioned against speech. Okay? Now we're starting to get into the middle. Right? If there are two people who are who are sitting near, would mind sharing and passing a sheet back so that others can have it. We're on the side. Welcome. We're on the side about different types of speech from Maimonides. Okay? So now we're in this gray area. Right? Is this good? Is this bad? It's neutral in the sense that it's not horrible, but it is a waste of our time. It is what we would call just idle speech. All right? It might be, gossip has a connotation. We would call this, if this is the middle ground, this is on the side, all right? It tilts toward the negative because there's nothing beneficial about it. Okay? The only thing that can come is probably something bad. So I'm going to just tell you, I got a phone call this afternoon from somebody who told me about something that happened to someone in the synagogue. I'm being intentionally vague, and it was really disturbing news for me to hear it, and jumped in the car, went to the hospital to see this person, and it turns out it was not good, but it was definitely not the degree of bad that I had been led to believe. Better, and by the time I got to the hospital, I was already feeling, okay, I wasn't as worried as I was when I got the original phone call. The person who made the original phone call, was an alarmist. better to say, hey, I heard something about someone, hey, you should probably call, I don't have all the facts. Right? It wasn't that she said anything, she said a few things that were wrong, right? But that alarmist, just sharing the information in anything other than a neutral way, put me in the negative spot, right? So that third category is speech for which there is no benefit. Now, okay, so we're right in the neutral zone. We've talked about what comes right below it, and all right, we have to go to our fourth category. All right, our fourth category is the desired, namely, okay, speech that is in praise of the intellectual virtues or the moral virtues, and simultaneously in denunciation of either of the two types of vices. Okay, that is to say, to stir the soul to virtues through prose and poetry, and to preclude it from vices through those means themselves. Thus, to praise worthy people and to praise worthy people and to extol their vices through those means themselves. Thus, to praise worthy people and to extol their virtues in order that their customs will appear good in the sight of mankind, that they may walk in their ways, and to denounce evil people for their vices in order that their deeds and memory will be condemned in the sight of mankind. Whoa, that's a lot of words, but what is being said here? Come on. Say something nice about somebody. And when you say something nice about somebody, that person becomes praiseworthy. That person becomes an example, okay, to be emulated. You say something nasty about somebody, then even if that person is praiseworthy, right, then they start to be seen as different. And if they really are not praiseworthy, right, and you say the wrong thing, then people are going to become, they're going to become an example in the wrong way. So is the white lie okay here? I would say yes. Right? I think this is one of those points where you have to be careful. Right? I want to be clear. I'm not encouraging white lies, but in certain points where it's helpful, the answer is okay. Last category, fifth category. Wait, have to figure out. There we go. Okay, fifth category is the permitted, namely speech concerning what specifically applies to a person, their business interests, livelihood, food, drink, clothing, and the rest of what they require. This is permitted. Okay? However, one warning is needed for two things. The first of them, that their deeds be consistent with their words, and the other matter is brevity. They should strive to expand the issues with few words. So if we have permitted speech, what's wrong with permitted speech? Doesn't feel like anything's wrong with permitted speech until we get to this text. And what does the text tell us? Don't get too lengthy. Okay? Because what happens if you extend your speech? The chances are you're going to go off the rails. Okay? You might, as you are talking, as you are describing a situation, all of a sudden lead me to think that somebody is in worse shape than they are, okay? And send me down this path, right? Or they might even think, that this person becomes, this person's amazing, terrific, fantastic, and they're just not great, right? But because of what you have done, now everybody's following this person, right, who may not necessarily be such a great example. So, this is one of those where it's good for everybody, even us rabbis. Keep it short, right? Make it, less is more, right? The rabbis throughout Jewish tradition really speak to, no pun intended, speak to the encouragement that one should speak less rather than more. But there is a category. There is a category in which we are required to say something, and that's in the category of rebuking. So this also comes from Maimonides. This is our last text. Right? This comes out of his Mishnah Torah. Right? And he says, if a person sees another has sinned or is following a bad way, it is a mitzvah. It is an obligation to attempt to return them to the right way and to inform them that they are sinning against themselves in their evil deeds. As it says, you must certainly rebuke your neighbor. That comes right out of Leviticus. One who rebukes another person, whether because of a wrong committed between the two of them or between the other and God, should offer rebuke privately. So before we go even further, right, we have two lessons that we learn here. One is the obligation that we have to rebuke people. Most of us don't like to do that. We don't like. There are some people who like to be yentas, and that goes for men, by the way, just as much as women, okay? Where you feel the need to tell something to somebody. You've always got to put your 2 cents in. You've always got to tell, all right, you got to tell me, the rabbi, what went wrong, okay? Nothing wrong. Okay? You can come to me and tell me things that go wrong. Tell me things that went right. It's also nice, okay? But there are people who, they didn't vacuum. There's a spot. Here, wait, this piece of dust, okay? Because they need to rebuke. Why? Why do people feel the need to rebuke? What is it about rebuking? Come on, Linda, say it. It makes you feel better. It is power. By saying something, you feel that you have power over that person. Right? And somehow you're going to feel better. Right? So rebuking has its limitations. Right? But the Torah tells us that when somebody is doing something actually wrong, when someone is sinning, right, between you and that person, right, that person sins against you, you have a responsibility to say something. Okay? People, I relish the times when people tell me, okay? I don't relish them, okay? But I appreciate when somebody gives me the chance to say I'm sorry. I don't get things right all the time, okay? I get things wrong a lot, okay? But oftentimes, okay, what happens? The rabbi doesn't do something, the rabbi does something, you're upset, right? And you go to Susan Warwick, of course, all right? Don't go to Susan Warwick. Right? She's got enough issues. She's got, if she does something wrong, go to her. Right? Don't come to me. Go to her first. If I do something, come to me. Right? If I make a mistake, I want the opportunity. Right? It doesn't feel good. I don't like it. But I'd much rather that you tell me so that I can make it right. So the first part is I have an obligation to rebuke somebody if they have done a wrong to me, or if they're doing something that is a sin against God. And the second thing, and really the important one, is offering rebuke privately. How we rebuke somebody. That's why I call this responsible rebuking. Don't come to me. Of course, none of you would do this. I'm referring to all the people who need to be sitting here, all right, but are not here. All right? But maybe you'll tell them. Right? Don't come to me in the oneg or when everybody is standing around and then tell me the thing that I did wrong. Pull me aside, call me on the phone, okay? Shoot me. I don't like email, okay? I don't think that that's a responsible way of rebuking. That should be done, but it should be done privately. Nobody likes to be yelled at or even told you're wrong in public, okay? Here we go. Oh, Adele, yes. Great question. I'm going to just repeat it. What happens if you observe somebody doing something wrong to somebody else? Doesn't involve you. Okay? In that case, what do you think the answer is, Adele? I'm putting you on the spot. Go ahead. The answer actually is there. It's there. You have to take a second, just a bit of a step, okay, in order to get to the answer. Carol, you have a different thought? Go ahead.
I guess I'm reading it differently. It says, it's a sin, or it's something evil. This isn't an ordinary, you folded that the wrong way. If it's a sin, what is that? Is that really something that's a sin and evil?
Okay.
It's not an ordinary, you can speak to that person.
All right. So, could this be in gradations? Hey, if it's we'll call it a low-level sin. All right. Maybe you won't get involved, or maybe if it's a greater sin. Look, I'm. As a clergy member, I am a, what's the term? I'm a required, if I see abuse, right? Particularly child abuse, I'm a required person by the state. But that's not really what it is. Here it is, okay? It is, okay, in the last line, it's the first part of the line. Adele, the answer to your question, at least according to commentaries, is that if you see someone doing something against somebody else, that person, by virtue of them being B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, they are doing something against God, and so therefore you have that obligation. Adele, did you get what okay, you don't have to agree with it, but I want you, you're good with that. Okay. I like when I can give the right answer. Okay, so let's go to the second part here. Let me just put it up for those who are online. Okay, how is it that we should rebuke? Okay. They should speak to them patiently and gently, informing them that they are only making these statements for their welfare and to allow them to merit the life of the world to come. If they accept the rebuke, fine. If not, they should be rebuked a second time and a third. Indeed, one is obligated to rebuke another person who does wrong until they strike them and tell them, I will not listen. And whoever is able to rebuke and does not is somewhat responsible for the sin because they could have given rebuke. So there it is. Right? What is our obligation? Our obligation is to rebuke somebody, but to do it privately, to do it patiently, to do it gently, to help them I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not gaining anything from this, right? When I go to somebody and I can do that in a way, right, that gets them back on the path, that's what we're looking for, right? Now, we know sometimes people just say, I don't care. I don't care. Hey, I'm not listening to you. Okay, well, let me help you. Let me try this again. I'll try it a second time. I'll try it a third time. But if somebody comes after you and says, I'm gonna hit you, okay? At that point, you are, as we say, yotze. You are released from your obligation. You don't have to cause yourself harm, right, in order to rebuke somebody. There is a limit to your obligation to rebuke, okay? But far more important is the last part of the text, and that is, if you see something, say something, and if you don't say something, then you become culpable. And all we need to do is go back in our history, right, and recognize the number of people who did not say something, right? If somebody's doing something wrong, we have to be willing to stand up. We can do it privately, quietly, gently, okay? But ultimately, we have to stand up. Any questions in terms of, in that case, our timing is perfect. It is 7:30. We're gonna go in for dessert. We're set. Thank you, Doris, Rosellen, for putting out dessert. Appreciate that. All right, what's your question, Jason? Yes. Yeah. How we can apply things to modern time. Yeah. Okay, so just to repeat, how do we deal with this in real time, considering that what I think is right, somebody thinks is wrong, and I rebuke somebody and they say I'm not doing anything wrong. The question of fluid morality, and we know the power of words, certainly from this week. I don't have an easy answer to this, okay? What I think comes from this particular, what I was looking for, is the recognition that we have a responsibility to do more than most of us are doing. To speak up, okay? at least talk through the issues and talk through them, right, in a way that is reasonable, right, that is gentle, that is kind, right? Don't dial up the rhetoric, okay? Dial down the rhetoric, all right? Don't flame somebody, but tone it down. That's when I think we're gonna do better. Okay, it is 7:33. We're gonna let the choir come in and they can do a little practice. We're gonna go into the social hall. We're gonna have dessert. Those of you who are online, we're gonna put the slide on. There you go. And we will see you back here at 8 o'clock in your seats. I'm sorry, 8:30? 9, sorry, 8:30. It's, I don't know what time it is. In a half an hour, less than a half an hour.
Don't leave the building, is what he's saying. Okay.
Wow, it's nice and cool in here. Can you run through that again?
In the same way? I don't think so.
Okay, where are we all?
I don't know. You have to find out. Usually,
We should have had our names on the chair.
except for, there's a lot where the tenors are with the basses.
Well,
I put it
Okay. Is it not?
Shooting range.
Oh, I think I saw your daughter.
Arlene, can I put your purse by me? Because it's, whose purse is this? Hobby Beats. Okay, I have to tell Hobby Beats. Very short. Because, you know, that's like so obvious. Hobby Beats. Can you put your purse in there or by me? Okay. And then mine is underneath. Well, that's your husband? Yeah. Yes, I've met him before. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Cantor.
That's true, but no, hers could be higher.
Like you can use the number two.
Okay. Two is the B man.
For quite everything that you sing is true.
But it's all changed.
Yeah, that's
Just want to make sure.
I'm lying.
we're not.
Her family. Did you see? No, somebody is sitting there. That's where I sit all the time like that. Yes, and I have a plaque there for him. Yes, that's so special. It is. Sure. Yep.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. This is always such a special night, mostly because even as I think about the High Holy Days many months in advance and start preparing and writing sermons, that this moment is a moment when I know that it becomes real. And that is both something of trepidatious, but also it is something that is wonderful. I look forward to this season, even as I don't look forward to this season. But to be here, to be in this community, to do the work that we do during this season of Tshuva, and the personal work that we do, the communal work that we do, is always so wonderful. I want to say, because at the end of the service, there really isn't an opportunity. I want to say thank you first to Cantor Norman, to Juvenal, to our flautist, Nicolas Real, to our choir, for elevating this moment and this service with beautiful music. So thank you. We begin on page 1. If you don't have a book, just make sure there's plenty off to at the entrance. We begin with Havdalah. We make a separation between the Shabbat that is ending and the week that is to begin.
המבדיל בין קודש לחול. Together. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la
Page 4.
המבדיל בין קודש לחול, הטותינו גבוהים חול, שרינו וכספינו ערבי כחול, ככוכבים בלילה, לקרותכם לבבי, אליהו הנביא, לקרותכם לבבי, אליהו הנביא. יום פניו כצל תומר, אקרא לאל עלי גומר, יום אשר אמר שומר, אתה בוקר וגם לילה, לקרותכם לבבי, אליהו הנביא, לקרותכם לבבי, אליהו הנביא. A la derecha Mijael y a la izquierda Gabriel, y sobre la cabeza Shechinat el dio en cada día y cada noche. לקרותכם לבבי, אליהו הנביא, לקרותכם לבבי, אליהו הנביא. שבוע טוב,
Now is the time for turning. The leaves in other places are beginning to turn from green to red and to orange. The birds are beginning to turn and heading once more toward the south. The animals are beginning to turn to storing their food for the winter. For leaves, birds, and animals, turning comes instinctively. But for us, turning does not come so easily. It takes an act of will for us to make a turn. It means breaking from old habits. It means admitting that we are wrong, and this is never easy. It means losing face. It means starting all over again. And this is always painful. It means saying, I'm sorry. It means recognizing that we are able to change. These things are terribly hard to do. But unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. God, help us to turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to faith. Turn us around, O God, and bring us back to you. Revive our lives as at the beginning, and turn us toward each other, God, for in isolation there is no life. Just as this evening marks a turning point in our inner lives, so too it is a time of turning for the outer garments of our Sifrei Torah. White, the symbol of purity towards which we aspire in these holiest of days, will be the color of the mantles of our scrolls. They will serve as reminders of our religious and our moral quest. May the symbolism of this moment help us to make the changes we undertake in order to fully participate in this season of tshuva, this season of turning. As we transition into this Slichot service, I'm going to invite those who will help us with the changing of the mantles to come and join us on the bima or in front of the bima. And then as the rest of you, you're welcome to watch, or I encourage you to pick a selection from pages 6 through 13 where you can just ruminate on one of the messages. Again, page 6 through 13. page 15. Shabbat has ended. Still we stand before you, O God of praises, hearken from on high. O hear our song and our prayer.
במוצאי מנוחה, קידם נוחה תחילה, אז אוזנך ממעלו, יושב תהילה, לשמוע אל הרידם ואל התפילה.
As you reached out for the sake of Father Isaac, beloved son who gave himself to you, cover his children who cry to you this night with your protecting shield. O hear our song and prayer. Draw near and turn to those who turn to you. Embrace all who seek you with a whole heart. From heaven's heights, turn to us. O hear our song and our prayer. God, with fear and trembling we stand before you, humbly beseeching, blot out our transgressions, as in your presence we shake like a woman in travail. O hear our song and our prayer. Just creator of your worlds, every creature, keeper and sustainer of all, sustain us now with love you have shown from the first. O hear our song and our prayer. Many are the sins of your people, too many to count. Nevertheless, we plead for mercy, exalted one, on all who stand before you. O hear our song and our prayer. Pity our suffering, overlook our sins, remember our need when you hear our plea, God of the host of heavens. Spare us, gracious God, and cleanse all who cry out to you. O hear our song and our prayer. This night, may our offering be acceptable, our vows received with favor as the sacrifice of old. Wondrous God, maker of miracles, make us see the miracle of forgiveness. O hear our song and our prayer.
עתירתה בעמדן בלילות, העמדן בלילות, שנה ברצון, קורבן קליל ועולות, תרם ניסך, עושה כדורות.
There are many fine things you mean to do someday, under what you think will be more favorable circumstances. But the only time that is surely yours is the present. Hence, this is the time to speak the word of appreciation and sympathy, to do the generous deed, to forgive the fault of a thoughtless friend, to sacrifice self a little more for others. Today is the day to express your noblest qualities of heart and mind, to do at least one worthy thing which you have long postponed, and to use your God-given abilities for the enrichment of some less fortunate fellow traveler. Today, you can make your life significant and worthwhile. The present is yours to do with as you will. Bottom of page 19. Return, O Israel, to your eternal God. Return, all you who have stumbled. For thus says the eternal God, the Holy One of Israel, in returning, in peace shall you triumph. In calm trust, you shall find strength. You are a stronghold to the poor, a shelter from the storm, a shade from the heat. Infinite God, reach out to me. Let me return to you. Let me come to you. I am alone, empty-hearted, afraid of myself. Let me come to you. Reach out to me. You are a shelter from the storm, a shade from the heat. Return, O Israel, to your eternal God. Behold, now the Eternal One does great things with this people. Behold, the Most High, who heaps miracle upon wonder. Return, O Israel, return. You are a stronghold to the poor, a crown of glory to all who stumble and fall, to all who rise and return. bottom of page 29. God, as clay takes form in a potter's hand, so do we in yours. Mold us into human form. You are the potter, we are but clay. As words are shaped by a poet's hand, so are we by yours. Make us your song, you are the singer, we are your work. As a ship takes its course from a sailor's hand, so do we from yours. Set us on your chosen course. You are the sailor, we are your ship. As threads are patterned by a weaver's hand, so are we by yours. Weave us into your plan. We are your people. You are our guide.
על כיסא רחמים. לא הראית לנו לומר 13, זכור לנו היום פרק 13, כמו שהודעת לילה מקדם, כמו שכתוב. וירד אדוני וינעל, יתעצב עמו שם, ויקרא בשם אדוני, ויעבור אדוני על פניו ויקרא. אדוני, אדוני, רחום וחנון, ערך אפיים ורב חסד ואמת, נוצר חסד לאלפים, נושא עוון ופשע וחטאה.
The Eternal One, the Eternal God is merciful and gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, showing mercy to thousands, forgiving our sin and granting pardon. We pray with Moses, pardon our sin, call us your own, call us your own.
וסלחת לעווננו ולחטאותינו ונחלתנו.
Our God and God of all generations, help us to overcome the impulse to do evil. You have created us able to do your will, but in our nature, there is a wayward spirit that hinders us and keeps us from doing what we should. Eternal God, help us to subdue it, so that we may, with a whole heart, make your will our own. The mercy, O God of all life, your mercy, O God of all life, extends to all who live. You turn away from our transgressions that we may turn to you. For you love all beings, despising nothing you have made. For how can you hate what you have established? And what would endure without your love? All things are touched by your grace, for they are yours. You take delight in life, holding us in your arms, for your eternal spirit dwells in all that breathes.
השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם.
Hear our voice, eternal God. Have compassion upon us, and with that compassion accept our prayer. Help us return to you, O God, then truly shall we return. Renew our days as in the past.
אל תשליכנו מלפניך, ורוח קודשך אל תיקח ממנו. אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה, כי כלות כוחנו. אל תעזבנו, אל תעזבנו, אדוני אלוהינו, אל תרחק ממנו. כי לך אדוני אוכלנו, אתה תענה, אדוני אלוהינו.
Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, grant that our prayers may reach you. Do not be deaf to our pleas, for we are not so arrogant and stiff-necked to say before you, we are perfect and have not sinned. Rather do we confess we have gone astray, we have sinned, we have transgressed. We have all committed offenses. Together we confess we are together arrogant and brutal, careless and destructive, egocentric and false, greedy and heartless, insolent and joyless. We are keen to see the faults of others, but loath to correct our own. Our sins are an alphabet of woe.
Gazalnu, di parnu dofin, Dai di dai 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 di di dai 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 di di dai 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 e vino in shanu zadnu Hamasnu Tafalnu shaker Ay di dai 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 ay di di dai 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 ay di di dai 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 Yatsnura Kizavnu Latsnu Maradnu Niatsnu Sararenu Avinu Pashadnu Sararenu Kishinu oref Rashanu Shichatnu Tiavnu Tainu Ditanu
Now may it be your will, eternal God of all generations, to pardon our sins, to forgive all our wrongdoings, and to blot out all our transgressions. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha ba'ones uvaratzon, the sins we have committed against you under duress or by choice. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha bezadon uvishgaga, the sins we have committed against you consciously or unconsciously. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha begalui uvesater, the sins that we have committed against you openly or secretly. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha besinat chinam, the sins that we have committed against you by hating without cause. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'masa uv'matan, the sins we have committed against you by dishonesty in business. Al chet shachatanu lefanecha b'hona'at rea, for the sin we have committed against you by hurting others in any way. For all these, O God of mercy, forgive us, pardon us, grant us atonement. We have sinned against life by failing to work for peace. We have sinned against life by keeping silent in the face of injustice. We have sinned against life by ignoring those who suffer in distant lands. We have sinned against life by forgetting the poor in our midst. We have failed to respect those made in the image of God. We have withheld our love from those who depend on us. We have engaged in gossip and repeated slander. We have distorted the truth for our own advantage. We have conformed to fashion and not to conscience. We have indulged in despair and trafficked with cynics. We have given meager support to our houses of study. We have neglected our heritage of learning. We have sinned against ourselves and paid scant heed to the life of the Spirit. We have sinned against ourselves and not risen to fulfill the best that is in us.
For all the things, the failures, the judgment, the will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
God, before whom words must be true, we acknowledge our faults and our failings. Help us now to strengthen the good impulse within us. Help us to care about wrongs from which we have been spared, to see forgiveness for all the wrongs we shall do, to forgive the wrongs that are done to us. Create in us a clean heart and place a willing spirit within us. Shed your light upon us, that we may all see the goodness in each of your children. Invite the congregation to rise. Page 39.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chondeinu Vaneinu, Ki Eine Banu
Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, we seek you. Grant that we may find you. Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, reveal to us the glory of your deliverance. Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, draw us near to your service. Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, grant us your blessings. Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, help us with your saving acts. Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, let peace reign among us. Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, grant peace to the earth. Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, grant abundance to your world. Eloheinu Shabbat God within and beyond, hasten for us the day of redemption. Middle of page 42. And now, on the threshold of the days of awe, may we learn to open the gates to our better nature, for we can be artful and authentic, brave, bright, and caring, daring and devoted, earnest and enlightened, faithful and forgiving, generous and gallant, humorous and hopeful, insightful and inventive, joyful, just and knowing, luminous and loving, magical and merry, neighborly and noble, observant and obliging, patient and pacific, questioning and quiet, reverent and resourceful, sincere and surprising, tolerant and truthful, unafraid and useful, valorous and vital, wholesome, wise, and willing.
תקיעה גדולה.
Shavua Tov, a shameless plug to come next Friday to hear Pastor Terrence William, who will be our speaker during Shabbat services. And for those of you who are diehards, you get extra bonus points if you come on Shabbat morning as well. Thank you all for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you over the coming weeks during our Yamim Noraim.